Again, my name's Gabe Zollner. I didn't want to keep making videos this evening. I was sort of tired and disgusted. But as people send me information, I can't just sit back and not pass it along. Got an interesting article from WorldNet Daily. I post a lot of their material. The title is Watchdog Lawyer Says 6 Supremes Must Be Impeached. Well, I totally agree that something must be done, but impeaching them won't work. And the reason that it won't work is because our Senate is a sewer. The way impeachment works is they have to have a majority. The trial's held, and these elitist senators, they determine as to whether or not the individual being impeached should be held and charged accordingly. We saw how well that worked with Billy Bob Clinton when he lied to Congress and he lied to the American people. I did not have sex with that woman. Well, fortunately, Monica Lewinsky kept her dress that had his sperm all over the front of it. Justice Roberts, I believe, has to live with what he's done to our country. He will go down in history as being someone equivalent to an endless number of other terrorists. That's what he's done to this country. He's not a lawmaker, yet he makes the law. They interpret the words to suit their agenda. Everyone knows what Jonathan Grouper said when he said the American people are stupid. Everyone knows when Nancy Pelosi said we have to pass this so we can learn and read what's in it. Everyone knows that these senators don't do jack shit for the money that they make. Everyone knows that members of Congress are a complete joke. It isn't just a matter of impeaching these 6. What has to happen is you have to flush the toilets with all of them. You've got to start over. You've got to get rid of the dead wood in Congress. You've got to get rid of the dead wood in the Senate. You have to have term limits. How many times have I preached the necessity to have term limits? 2 terms and these dirtbags are gone. 2 terms and they're gone. And they can't jump the way Jeffrey the Flake did. The way he jumped from being a congressman for 10 bloody years. And now he's a senator? What the hell's he done for the state of Arizona? His kid murdered dogs! This isn't about his kid. This is about our country is being destroyed. Larry Klayman, the founder of Freedom Watch, is probably one of the most honest men we have in this country. We need people like Larry Klayman in the White House. Not these jackass politicians like Marco Rubio, who's not eligible. Bobby Jindal, who prayed hard and then decided that he needed to run. He's not eligible. His parents were Indian citizens. Ted Cruz isn't eligible. He was born in Calgary, Alberta. His father wasn't an American citizen. Rick Santorum is not eligible. Yet they want to run for the Oval Office. You think they care about this country? If they cared about this country, they'd know they're not eligible. But this isn't about Marco Rubio. It's not about Ted Cruz. It's not about Bobby Jindal. And it's sure as hell not about Rick Santorum. What this is about is how our country is being destroyed by a floppy-eared, crack-smoking, homosexual usurper. He never should have been allowed to steal the Oval Office. The Congress knew it. The Senate knew it. This Obamacare is a complete abomination. That's what it is. The Affordable Care Act? Who the hell can afford it? Nobody! Nobody can afford it! Jackasses! They're raping the American people with this bullshit. The whole idea of Obamacare was to insure everyone. There's still 30 million people that don't have insurance. Larry Klayman said these 6 justices have violated their own long-established rules of interpretation for applying statutes to instead advance their own political objectives or burnish their public persona. They all do it! That's what these congressmen do! Half of them are morons! I don't know, folks. You want to read the article? It's worth reading. There's some good points in there. The comments that Antoine Scalia made. The rest of these 6 justices, what are you going to do with them? You can't do anything. They're lifetime appointments. Think about how insane this system is. You've got a corrupt president, Barack Hussein Obama. He puts Elena Kagan as a Supreme Court justice. She wasn't even a judge. She was a lawyer that buried his past. You don't think she's beholden to the chosen one with the floppy ears? You don't think Sonia Sotomayor is beholden to the floppy-eared, crack-smoking, homosexual, shacked up with Michael? What the hell is wrong with you American people not to understand that that's what it is? It's an it. A man with a penis and tits is an it. I am absolutely convinced that the Supreme Court, in their wisdom, are going to vote 5-4. Gays will be allowed to marry everywhere. In 1962, sodomy was a felony. I don't know, folks. I don't know what to tell you. Concerns about Roberts. Klayman has become gravely concerned about the independence of the Supreme Court following a whistleblower's allegation that private information about Chief Justice John Roberts was harvested illegally by the U.S. government. You know what he's referring to? He's referring to Justice Roberts' kids. He said he's concerned that information about Chief Justice Roberts was harvested. What do you think NSA was all about? Obama's got crap on everyone. J. Douglas Hoover had files. Obama's got volumes on everyone. I don't know, folks. Justice Roberts has to live with what he's done and what he's doing to the American people. People like Lane Brain, Johnny McCain could give a damn. Their egos are so huge, they want to continue serving the American people. The only one they serve is themselves. There is not one presidential candidate running on a Republican side that's worth snot, except for the Donald. He doesn't need the money. He loves America. The rest of these jackasses all have huge egos. They want to fill their egos. Anyway, The Affordable Care Act, what a joke. The Affordable Care. Who the hell can afford it? You know, I've made countless videos. It doesn't work. There's no back end. You can't account for anything. No one's looked into it. I've met with a congressman from Arizona. I told that congressman, please look into the back end. Please look into why you can't add a child when a family has Obamacare and they have a child. Please look into it. You can end this nightmare. I told that congressman, please look into establishing term limits. 2 terms, please. Look into term limits. If I spent my time talking to my dog, Buddy, Callie, or Charlie, I would have made more points. They don't care. The only thing they care about is their own survival. They send us bullshit of what they're doing for us. They're doing nothing for us. They're doing it all for them. Have you written to your congressman and asked him a question? You get back a form letter. Let me tell you how that works. Your letter gets scanned, or your email gets scanned, or your phone request gets heard. They listen for keywords, they scan for keywords, and they send you an appropriate letter that addresses those keywords. That's how they do it. They don't rate squat. They don't care about you. The only time they care about you is when there's an election. That's when they care about you. Folks, do you not sort of understand? You've got to drain the swamp, like Nancy Pelosi said, but she's part of the swamp. You got to flush all of Congress. You got to get rid of those people and start over again. You got to get rid of your senators and start over again with honest people like Larry Klayman, not people like lame brain Johnny McCain, who killed directly based on his actions 134 sailors on a forest stall. 250 were seriously injured. His father was Admiral of the Pacific Fleet. That jackass would have been washing windows on jets, not flying them. He stood 4th from the end in his graduation class. He's a joke. Anyway, read the article. You know what really frustrates me? Is I'm pretty much of a realist. And I know there's nothing I can do. And I know there's nothing we can do. And the reason that is because our Congress and our senators allowed this cancer to metastasize. Obama has disemboweled our military. Obama has disemboweled our government. He's kept cronies around him. That's the only ones that are left, are his yes men. General Dempsey is a joke. His suits don't fit him anymore. But he's Obama's lackey. That's sort of what I think. You know, I've sort of bounced around a little bit. You can tell I'm somewhat frustrated. I'm somewhat aggravated. I'm somewhat irritated. If I didn't have children and grandchildren, I probably would spend the rest of my life fishing. But I have children and I have grandchildren. And you have children and you have grandchildren. So get off your ass and protect them. Get off your ass and protect them. We need a leader. We need someone to rally the troops. We need someone to march on Washington and demand that that floppy-eared, crack-smoking, homosexual, Islamic extremist, Muslim Arab goes back to Kenya. Get it? Good.